So I had a lot of comments asking if I could do more of an in-depth tutorial on the bear. So I've still got the footage, so I was like, right, I'll just do it again, but just do the bear and try to explain to you what I've done. Now, I don't really know what I did. I do know what I done, but I don't know why I done it. And there was no, in my head, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I just done what I thought I should do next. So I haven't ever been taught how to hand paint. I think I'm in like a couple of workshops, but I haven't actually done the workshops. I'm terrible. Like, I join things with good intentions and I never get through them. So just bear with me, okay? Bear with me. I'll try to explain the best I can, but why I done things, sometimes I'm not particularly sure. I just, yeah. This was a bear design that I winged, and it just turned out particularly well this time. I might do it again and it might be rubbish. So, as you can see, I've just mixed, I'm using Madam Glam's gel paints for the bear. I've mixed the colours that I want on my palette ready, and actually on the nail here I've already put 2 coats of white gel polish, and then I've added velvet matte top coat. If you don't have a matte top coat, I would top coat with shiny and then just buff over the surface, and then onto the surface. This is a mechanical pencil. Some of you asked what a mechanical pencil was. You know, like you get some biros that you can click and the little nib comes in and out. Well, imagine the same thing with a pencil, but when you click, the lead just keeps coming out. Do you know what I mean? So you don't want to keep clicking, because if you keep clicking, and the lead could be like 1 inch long and you just wouldn't be able to write with it. If you don't have a mechanical pencil, you could try with a really sharp, normal, you know, like a really sharpened, really sharp pointed pencil. But the mechanical pencils are just, they seem to be always sharp. I think it's because the lead is so thin. Anyway, I have used my Rachel Wilder's nail window to give me an idea of where I want, how I want the bear placed on the nail. I'll put a photo up here. So that is, if I've still got the photo, I'll stick it up there. I don't think my bear looked anything like the original bear, but I wasn't too fussed. As long as it looked like a bear, I wasn't too bothered. So using the pencil, I'm just going to map out where I want the bear on the nail. And this doesn't have to be perfect, because you're not going to see the pencil lines afterwards. There'll probably be gaps in the video where I don't speak. I think instead of me trying to think of things to say, I will just be quiet. I think it would be better all round if I just was quiet when I don't have anything to say. Yeah, so do bear with me, because I don't really know what I'm doing. As I said, I winged it and it just turned out particularly well. So I'll try my best. So I'm just going to carry on finishing the design on the nail. I've got this little brush that I'm using, is the Nail Sugar Natalie Mugridge detailer brush. Now I'm going to start off with this just to go around the outline of the head and around the nose. I'm just using the detailer brush because it's finer. And then I'm going to swap over to my petal brush from Madam Glam. Now this is a lot thicker, so I'm gonna be able to fill in that space a lot quicker. I'm also going to fill in the belly and the legs and the arms and the ear. Basically anywhere that needs to be brown, I will fill that in. And because there's quite a lot of gel paint on the nail now, a lot of the time through this design I do flash cure. I say flash cure. The gel paints need a full 60-second cure. But there are points in the nail where I do little bits of like little details, so I will only cure it for about 30 seconds. Because I've covered the whole bear in, I'm going to cure him initially for a full 60 seconds, just so that I know that it's completely cured. Then the next thing I go ahead and do is I fill in the entire, is it called a snout? Snoot? His nose bit, all around his nose. I fill that in with white gel paint, and again I'm using my detailer brush. You could use the petal brush if you wanted to. I just decided to use the detailer brush. And look, I'm just mixing a little bit of white with that brown mix that I made earlier, and then I'm going to use this, so we're kind of thinking about where the light's going to hit the bear. So I do darken underneath his chin later on, but in his belly, because he's going to have, like, in my head I'm imagining him with a rounded belly. So I'm just going to fill the belly in with some of this lighter colour that I've made. And if you have an eyeshadow applicator, that's great. That's what I'm going to use next. I'll show you in a minute. Oh, I'm also going to put a little bit on top of his forehead. Imagine that would be where the light was shining as well, hitting the top of his head. Here we go. One of these little sponge applicators, you can just dab the gel paint and it helps blend the colour out. So it's not just like a harsh line now. I can't see because the box is in the way. There we go. Just dab around the edges. And when you put the gel paint on, you don't want it to be super thick, because you want to be able to blend it out. Can you see we just started to add a little bit of shading. Now I'm not when it comes to shading and stuff, I'm not very good at all that, but I try to do my best. That's what I'm trying to say. Can you see I've just, where his little feet cross over, I'm just going to put a little bit of that lighter brown on that as well and dab it out. I can't see now. Oh, it's so annoying, this recording box. So where I've made those lines, again, you just use that little eyeshadow applicator. It just sort of blends a little bit. And then here, I do add some brown. I was trying to do it like just behind the foot, because his little feet sort of, can you see they cross over? And also I'm using that brown as well to highlight the outside edges of his body. I do blend some of these out as well, and this bit under his chin. Because it's going to be darker underneath his belly. And I just dab those as well, just so that they're not quite as harsh. And then again under his chin. I think in a little while, oh there we go, yeah, I was going to say, I think I do add a little bit more under his chin, just to darken it up a little bit. I mean, I'm no expert on shading and stuff, so I'm just, yeah. We're going to put a little bit of detail on his ear. Again, I'm just, yeah, I do blend that out in a minute. And then, yeah, go around his head. We are going to give him some little wispy bits of hair as well, to make him look a bit more soft looking. And then again, you can use that eyeshadow applicator just to dab on the lines, just to make them look less harsh. I'm not going to worry too much around his head. There we go. And then I will pop him in for 30 seconds. I'm going to do his nose now. So I'm going to use the dark, just the brown in the pot, straight from the pot for his nose. I wish I'd mixed it with a little bit of black just to make it that little bit darker. But I'm not, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's just personal preference. I tried to make it look a little bit more ovally. It looked a little too round, so I just tried to make it a bit more ovaled. And I think before I pop that in the lamp, he needs a little eyebrow. We're not going to put one the other side because obviously that's going to come off the nail. And then I started to do his eyes and I forgot to hit record, but I've just used the black to create his eyes, and he has got a little bit of an eye just coming onto the nail. Just, yeah. So I will cure that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of that lighter brown on top of his nose again and just try to blend it out a little bit. And then we're going to use the pink gel paint just to give him a couple of, no, not a couple, just one rosy cheek, because the other one is not on the nail. So I'm just going to put a little blob of the, what is it, the pink gel paint on. Then I'm going to use the little spongy bit, and I'm just going to blend it out. Excuse me. My kids have had colds and I feel a little bit coldy, but fortunately it's not a full-blown cold, so that's good. I've cured that for 30 seconds, and then I'm just going to add a little bit more just to darken it up. If you want to, you could add a little bit of red. That would make it look really rosy. But I've just done that there. That's all I'm going to do. Then I added some little blobs of white to his eyes and his nose. I didn't like the 2 dots on his nose. I'm not quite sure why I done 2 on his nose. But I did not like it. Maybe the picture had 2 dots, I'm not sure. So I just used some isopropyl alcohol on a wipe just to wipe off that other one. And then using the dark brown gel paint, I'm just adding some freckles with the dotting tool as well. And then I do believe I give that a 30-second cure. Here, I'm putting a bit of black in some of the dark brown. And we're going to use this darker brown to create the little hairs around the edges of his body. A little bit more brown in there. I don't know that I mean, it was such a little amount, it probably didn't make much of a difference. And then we're just literally going to start to create these little flicks of hair. And these are going to just be around the outside edges of everywhere. So you can see what I'm doing, can't you? I can't see because of the box. I guess this bit's optional. I don't know that you have to do this, but it just adds a little bit more detail to the bear. So we're going to do it like around the side of the head, and then I also do it down the side of the body and the arms and his feet. Just added a little bit more brown there. I wanted it just to be a little bit darker underneath his belly. And then just continue with the little flicks. There we go. And I think it's at this point now I give him a full 60 seconds. I can't remember if oh yeah, no, he needs his mouth. you've got to give him a mouth first. So I just gave him a little nice smiley mouth. Again, I'm doing this using the detailer brush because you get a nice fine line. These detailer brushes aren't available anymore. I probably said that at the beginning, I can't remember. But you can get some really nice fine line detailer brushes from other people, other companies. Yeah, so that will then have had a full 60-second cure, and then you're just going to top coat. I use the Velvet Matte top coat because I just feel like the Velvet Matte top coat just shows up the details a lot nicer. But this is what it would look like if you left it. I'll show you it in a sec. Look, it looks shiny already. I think it looks nice shiny as well, actually. There we go. I'll show you it matted. There we go. I think he's adorable. So yeah, thanks for everyone who has taken the time to like and subscribe. You are all greatly appreciated. I love you lots, and I'll see you in the next one.